Once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us for the 2024 City of Whitehall State of the City Address, the first 100 days. I am Sean Anthony, and I am your MC for this evening. Tonight is significant for our city. First and foremost, I'd like to take a moment to recognize that today marks 100 days that Mayor Michael T. Bivens has been in office. Additionally, this is the first time in Whitehall's history that a Black mayor has been elected to lead our great city. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for a moment of silence, the presentation of colors, the Pledge of Allegiance led by Ryan Evelyn Cannon Brown, the singing of the national anthem by Lorena Lacey, and an invocation from Chaplain Toby of the Whitehall Division of Police.
On guard, forward, march. Mark down, mark. On guard, halt.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Forward, march.
I invite you to join me in prayer. Almighty God, I come to you in Christ's name, thanking you for the privilege of being an American. Furthermore, I thank you for the privilege of living, working, and fellowshipping in the city of Whitehall, among some of the most kind, considerate neighbors anyone could hope for. And now, Lord, I ask your blessing upon our mayor, the Honorable Michael T. Bivens. I ask your blessing upon Chief Preston Moore and all members of the Whitehall Fire Department. I ask your blessing upon Chief Mike Crispin and all members of the Whitehall Police Department. I ask your blessing upon each member of our city council. Lord, I ask your blessing upon each elected or appointed leader within the city of Whitehall who leads so many faithful, dedicated citizens serving our community. Father, I ask you to bless them with peace, health, happiness, and your grace to enable them to fulfill their mission with dignity and honor. Finally, as we mark this occasion of 100 days of Mayor Bivens' leadership, by thy grace, I pray the city of Whitehall could truly go forward together. May we remember your words as found within your book, Psalm 127. Except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it. Except the Lord keep the city, the watchmen are awake in vain. In thy holy name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
We have some special guests with us today, and we would like to recognize before we get into the reason we are all here this evening. So please hold your applause until the end. I want to recognize Franklin County Administrator Kenneth Wilson, Whitehall Superintendent Dr. Sherry Wells, and Mayor Bivens' family, his staff, and the Whitehall City Council. This mayoral term comes with a lot of changes, but these changes haven't come easy, and they were only possible because of the values and commitment of our leaders, city staff, and our community. One great change occurred at Whitehall Yearling High School, where a small group of students pulled together to start a club that celebrates Black history and culture within the student body. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the founders of the Whitehall Yearling High School Black Culture Committee.
Good evening. We are Whitehall Yearling High School's Black Culture Committee.
We're a student-led group passionate about promoting and celebrating Black culture in its richness and diversity. Our vision goes beyond African American traditions to encompass the vibrant cultures of Africa, the Caribbean, and Black communities around the world.
Just a few months ago, we worked with Mayor Bivens to draft the first ever Black History Month proclamation for the city of Whitehall. During our meeting with Mayor Bivens, the Black Culture Committee was formed.
Motivated by our meeting with Mayor Bivens, we embarked on a mission to raise awareness of Whitehall's amazing Black community. From students to business owners to trailblazers and social justice leaders, we aim to celebrate the Black experience in its entirety, past, present, and future.
Inspired by these powerful moments, the innovations of Black minds, and the sacrifices of those before us, we, the founders, stand before you. I am Senior Founder Deanna Gray.
I am Senior Founder Uncle Ina.
I'm Junior Founder Cameron Giles, and I am Junior Founder Lazoria Maham. In a short span of time, the Black Culture Committee has spearheaded numerous impactful events at Whitehall Yearling High School. One of our proudest achievements was organizing and orchestrating the inaugural Black History Month program. This groundbreaking event not only celebrated the richness of Black culture, but also provided an invaluable platform for education and awareness. Central to the success of the program was securing of the two distinguished keynote speakers, among them Mayor Michael T. Bivens.
We extend our heartfelt gratitude to Mayor Bivens for the pivotal role in bringing our vision to fruition. unwavering support and encouragement have been instrumental to our achievements. And we couldn't have reached this milestone without his guidance. Thanks, Mayor Bivens. And now a brief introduction to Mr. Ron Briggs, who will introduce the mayor.
Mr. Briggs, a Columbus native, completed his education in the city's public schools and graduated from Thomas Worth High School. He continued his studies at Columbus State Community College and later the Ohio State University. Following a successful career spanning over 25 years in leadership positions with a Fortune 100 company, Ron shifted to full-time self-employment and real estate investing, allowing him to prioritize family and pursue his passion.
Despite his busy schedule, his enduring friendship with Mayor Bivens has remained steadfast since their childhood days. Ron's unwavering support has been integral to Mayor Bivens' journey to becoming the esteemed mayor of Whitehall, Ohio. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ron Briggs.
All right, good evening, everyone. Please be patient with me. I don't do this that often. I'm very honored to be here and thank everyone that is involved and allowed me to be here and spend time with everyone here. My name is Ron Briggs, and I have the great honor of introducing Mayor Michael Bivens this evening. But prior to introducing the mayor this evening, I would like to take a few brief moments just to share a personal testament with the city of Whitehall about my friendship, lifelong friendship with Mayor Michael Bivens that spans over 40 years. So we have to go way back. We met in elementary school at Whitehall Park Elementary, located in Columbus, when we were playing football. And it wasn't too long after that we figured out that we only lived a few blocks from each other. So once that took place, from that point on, we as the years moved on, we became best friends. You can find us all over the city of Columbus, whether it was by foot, we would travel miles, with bicycles, we would travel miles and miles and miles, and we'd also hop on the Coda bus when the time called for it. You could also catch us doing one of our favorite things, and what that was borrowing our grandfather's fishing poles and taking our bicycles and riding way down Fifth Avenue all the way down to the side of the river, where we would spend many days fishing and having a good time. Since that time, which is several decades ago, I've had the great privilege of witnessing and sharing many moments with Michael and his family. And coincidentally, that would build and prepare him for his current role, whether that be his many athletic and scholastic achievements, serving as a Marine in the Armed Forces, or meeting his lovely wife Joy and setting the foundation for the lovely family that would follow. So let's fast forward. Decades go by, we still have a great friendship, but for whatever reason, we didn't find ourselves doing some of the things we got to enjoy as younger men and children. And that's just where life took us. But eventually we came full circle and we found ourselves hanging on the fishing bank again. Except this time it wasn't so much about adventure, it wasn't about fun, it wasn't about all the excitement. It was more about relaxing, getting away from the grind, peace and quiet, enjoying nature, and more importantly, life conversations. So with those life conversations, a theme would pop up every once in a while. Over the course of 2 to 3 years, the topic would shift to Mike feeling like he had a desire to serve beyond his current role. So for as much as he had achieved, as much as in the past he had served his country, he had served his family, he had served his community, he served his church for many years. He just felt in his current role and his position in life, he needed to serve more. And and he was tossing around the idea of going into the political realm. So me, being a lifelong friend, I think I was trying to cover some blind spots that maybe everyone has blind spots. So I was just trying to bounce ideas off of him of what that would look like if he were to step into that arena. So a huge commitment, less time with family, less time doing some of the hobbies that he worked his way all those years to enjoy. Being under a microscope from time to time, being measured in certain environments, it's going to be a big change. So when those conversations would arise, I would give my 2 cents just to clear my mind before he stepped into it. So it was one day in particular, he let me know that he was all in and he wanted to move forward, which is very encouraging for me because I know where he came from, I know what his abilities are, and I know what type of person and leader he is. He wanted to make a difference. He wanted to be part of change. He wanted to lead significant change. And those conversations didn't happen in a spontaneous moment that were impulsive. It wasn't something that would be generated from an event. This is something that he pondered for a long time before he decided to step forward and be the leader of Whitehall, or at least attempt to be the leader of Whitehall and then become the leader of Whitehall. So he put a lot of thought into it, and when I knew he said he was going to go, that he was going to be committed 100%, just as he has been for his family, his extended family and friends for so many years. He spent a lifetime of overcoming and achieving. For many years, it was for his lovely wife, Joy, and their children, Justin and Michaela, for family, for extended family, and friends. That's just the type of person he is. And now it's time for Michael to continue that journey as the leader of this community. On an indie note, I would like to personally attest that the city of Whitehall can have full confidence that their mayor, Michael Bivens, will provide them with true and faithful leadership. He will remain committed to the progress and success of this city, and he will continue to move forward side by side with each and every one of you in the community. That's all I have to say.
With respect to the first 100 days, one, I could not have imagined that 100 days would pass by so quickly. My expectations being the first African-American mayor is to make sure that I paved the way for more diverse candidates that are going to succeed. My aspiration is to make sure that every resident finds a path of moving forward in their life, moving forward with jobs, moving forward with opportunities, moving forward to access to any type of service that will cause them to experience their American dream. My favorite thing about the city of Whitehall is a diverse community, but then the subset of that is we are a small town within a big city. You literally know your neighbors, you know your friends, you have a school system where your children can go, and you have a safe city. I've raised my family here. People are its greatest asset. We're the #1 diverse suburb in the inner ring of Central Ohio. Our hidden gem has to be the hope that is within every single resident in the city. And if that's not what our founding fathers dreamt of with respect to the United States, Whitehall is a mirror image of that. The people of Whitehall need to understand that they are connected to the region, that the actions that they experience have a direct impact to a bigger source, which is the whole region of Central Ohio. I see Whitehall in the next 10 years with a decrease of our poverty rate by 10%. I see Whitehall building over 1,000 more units of property. I see Whitehall getting into single family home development. I see Whitehall winning a state championship in football. The greatest accomplishment in my first 100 days is coming into this city every day and being able to serve every single citizen, every single resident in the city. And it's just an honor every day just to do that and be their leader. And I just hope to make them proud every day that I'm here.
without further ado, I'd like to introduce my friend and your mayor, Michael T. Bivens.
My best friend Ron, man, thank you for your words. You floored me with everything that you said. But to our elected officials, to our city council, I see our newest appointed city council member, Devin Brown, which is in the room. Our council member, Lori Elmore, is in the room. Our council member, Amy Harkar, is here. Council member Gerald Dixon is here. Our elected city attorney, Brad Nicodemus, who is my successor, is here. Our former city attorney, I believe he goes by Fast-Lip Shannon, is somewhere in the room. I thought I saw him earlier, and I believe that there are two other city council members, Amy Smith and Joanna Heck, who is here. Could you please stand so that the room knows that you are here in this room? Senator Herschel Craig earlier. I don't know if he had to dip out because he had a church obligation, but is he back there? Herschel Craig is in the back. And I'm gonna get to him. I know he's here. And our favorite and just most fantastic city treasurer, Shaquille Alexander, is here. I see loved ones, I see business leaders, but in particular, one of the persons that I have to recognize is 100 days ago, I said to a young man that I think you have a shot with my daughter. And he took that literally and proposed. My daughter, Michaela, and my soon-to-be son-in-law, Walter Diller, I want to recognize County Administrator Ken Wilson, who is in the room. Let me say this, brilliant man, thank you for the time that you have given me just to glean whatever I can from you. It's been my honor and privilege. I look forward to the days that we get to continue to serve together and serve Central Ohio. And certainly last but not least, I want to thank my wife, Joy. To embarrass you on purpose, but let me say this, you hold the secrets to my heart. In your mouth is wisdom, and you always speak the law of kindness. You are truly my Proverbs 31:10-30. So tonight is a night of nights. I'm going to get behind this podium at some point, but I just want to just stand here and just gaze at how beautiful each and every one of you are in this room tonight. Give yourself a rousing.
So, here we are, tonight, having thanked all of the elected officials, past and present, and community leaders. But the last group I want to thank is the Ohio Media School, who is out here tonight doing their thing, putting this together, recording this event, and please give them a round of applause. And so once again, good evening and thank you for joining us this evening. It's with the deepest gratitude and exhilaration to mark today as the official 100th day in office as the mayor of Whitehall. It's a milestone on so many levels, none of which belong to me. Instead, it's a testament to the values, hopes, relationships, and accomplishments of so many others, many of you in this room, that has catapulted this new administration into this day, and having me say unequivocally, this has been the fastest 100 days of my entire life. Literally, where has the time gone? When we stood on the steps of City Hall December 31st and gave the oath of office to serve, my heart was full of anticipation of the journey ahead. 100 days later, this anticipation has solidified into a resolve and focus to steer Whitehall into a new era. The progress outlined on that fateful day is just getting started. While I know that the first 100 days are important, my focus continues to shift, and the pillars planted now will lay the foundation for the next 1,000 days. And if I'm lucky, maybe it'll be 3,915 days. Because the next 1,000 days will make the difference. An impact that was promised in my oath, and the footprints forged ahead will not only foster support locally, it will assure that Whitehall remains a beacon of hope to our region, demonstrating to everyone that the strength of our community is not just measured in dollars and cents, but is instead measured by our ability to meet and stand in the face of opposition and challenges with righteous indignation and unified purpose to solve problems instead of being victimized by crisis. Yet, despite the meetings, public appearances, budgetary discussions, council meetings, and even preparing for this evening, not only do I feel that I haven't done enough, but I'm driven by the knowledge that there is so much more work to do. That was the major theme of my address to you 100 days ago, and it remains in my heart today. It's all about the work. This administration is going to be all about the work, and tonight, it's my hope to communicate three things. First thing, communicate a call to action. Second, declare that Whitehall is serious about economic development and connecting our community not only to the region, but to also assure that the quality of life of its residents are better. And third, share with you the steps of this administration by highlighting our dedicated and incredible city staff who inspire me with their service. And fourth, I know I said three, but the first and fourth combined into one that is worth repeating. It tonight is a call to action. It's my hope to invite everyone in this room to join in the progress of Whitehall. In doing so, it's worth repeating the promises made 100 days ago, and then to speak of the actions taken to deliver upon those promises. But before I do that, I see two school board members, Jane Shannon and Lorena Lacey, sitting right here, and I apologize. Thank you so much for being here this night. Overall, if nothing else, as your mayor, I will continue to adhere to transparency and welcome the participation of everyone desiring to build a better Whitehall for everyone. So, when this started 100 days ago, I said, this administration is a shared opportunity to move Whitehall in the direction of progress. It was my stern pledge to make sure that our city government works for everyone. It was my goal and pledge 100 days ago to inform everyone that I would not feed into the fear of the detractors, nor would I give access to anyone intent on sowing seeds of doubt. Instead, the invitation was open to everyone that chooses daily to pursue purpose over conflict, hope over discord, people that want to shape the values and mission of Whitehall, not with negativity, but persons desiring to lift up rather than tear down. Therefore, it was my pledge to seek innovation, bridge building, and collaborative partnerships. Furthermore, it was my pledge to sow into and champion healthy families, because healthy families build healthy communities. And we do this by creating opportunities from youngest to oldest. Oldest right here. Lastly, I pledged to seek opportunities to help our businesses succeed, make investments in public safety and infrastructure, while at the same time seeking opportunities to address poverty, continuing to champion sustainable and affordable housing, and to always keep the relationship strong with our local schools. All of this was my pledge to you 100 days ago, and I'm proud to announce that in the first 100 days, I'm keeping and continuing those promises. The groundwork has been cleared, foundations poured, and bricks laid to achieve those goals, while at the same time inspiring the team to take personal pride in initiating items to make sure that Whitehall works for every resident. So please accept the following moments to hear the great things accomplished in the first 100 days, and prayerfully, at the end, join us in the continued renaissance of Whitehall. To build the strategic framework for tonight, for the steps leading to today, I have to admit that day one proved to be very challenging. I immediately identified the issues that created challenges to success, namely the spirit of we haven't done this before. Have you experienced the spirit of we haven't done this before? It'll slow you down. And other protectionist ideologies that resist change. I was firmly aware of the potential deteriorating relationships with persons that had the potential to undermine progress and erode the progress Whitehall has made to facilitate building and development in our city. I also recognized that the success of achieving progress was to collaborate with City Council to obtain buy-in. This is why I personally met with every council member to obtain their vision for their office, while also sharing mine as mayor. This was done while at the same time cultivating political will to strengthen our local economy to address potential threats. Strategically, I was aware that Whitehall has been serious about growth, planning, and connecting our community to the region. I was also aware of our budgetary strains. However, I know that preparing for the future takes vision and preparation, and that in order to maintain momentum, there were bridges that needed to be built. And a major bridge that was identified on day one was walking into the office without a full cabinet. And on the heels of the exodus of persons with years of institutional knowledge. Now, I've spoken to many persons that wanted to account the exodus to something sinister or negative. However, that was far from reality. Life and everything in it is about change. In fact, the avoidance of change is probably the single most way to never grow. I've had the privilege of serving in executive leadership roles for over 20 years, and before that in service to our country as a United States Marine. In every stage of leadership, I found that the most effective leaders equip their people to grow and to benefit from their time of service, and also getting a few books from Chief Mike Crispin. Leaders that made sure their staff was highly educated and sought after. For other opportunities, demonstrated strength, and for that, former Mayor Kim Maggard will always have my respect. What she did with her team was commendable, and that many of them moved on to other opportunities is a testament to her effective leadership and more proof that our city got the attention of the region. It's also in line with the motto of our city, opportunity is here, because it has given me the opportunity to build a team focused on the new vision and the cabinet in service to the city now. Let me say it. Help me say it. The cabinet in service to the city now is not only competent, they are committed to the progress. You don't have to repeat this. Committed to the progress of Whitehall, and all have the requisite character, heart, and values to assure that not only our motto remains intact, but it will go a step further and assure that opportunity lives in Whitehall. So if the new cabinet can stand and be recognized, Deanna Hanna, Brittany Arnold, Joe Long, Casey Thomas, Tracy Wentz, Van Gregg, Chief Michael Crispin, Chief Moore, Mike Isaac, Lorena Lacey, Monette Whites, And lastly, Laura Jones. Please give them a round of applause. The steps taken since day one have been amazing, and prior to taking office, I reviewed in detail the organizational analysis and executive summary done in May of 2023. The main purpose of this was to assess and identify any inefficiencies that could be managed, as well as to analyze manpower and underutilization of human resources. It was my goal to identify everything to help the city become more efficient and productive. The overarching goal in assessing the efficiency study was to get the buy-in of the staff and to uplift morale. Therefore, on day one, every staff member walked the building to assess the physical location. Let me tell you, their faces when we did that, I wish I had a camera. To assess the physical location, have open dialogue about the systems and processes, and it was clear from day one that they would be in the loop of the decisions affecting their livelihood and the lives of the citizens we serve. We discussed cross-training and making sure that our staff is not held hostage to one person with all the departmental knowledge. To achieve this on day one and the weeks afterwards, I've convened staff meetings with the main goal of once again combating that spirit of we have not done this before. We moved desks. We changed where people were located. We put a fresh face on City Hall. The results today is a city administration that's operating efficiently, with cross-training fully underway, and a team mentality with everyone focused on the workload, because in this administration, progress is everyone's job. I've even participated in the cross-training by getting certified by the Ohio Supreme Court to run Mayor's Court. The purpose of this was completely devoted to assisting in the administration of our expungement docket one day, as well as building inroads into the future creation of a dedicated mayor's court focused primarily on the adjudication of juvenile cases. Now, this is a heavy lift because it will require jurisdictional agreements with the domestic court as well as the county prosecutor's office, but one I'm focused to build because based on the crime analytics that's provided to me by Kelly McKinley and Lindsay Rouse, Whitehall has experienced a steady increase in juvenile arrests. It's all over the county. The top arrests being stolen property, shoplifting, and curfew. While most of the juvenile arrests are young people that live outside the jurisdiction, the goal of the Whitehall Juvenile Court would be to handle our juvenile docket locally, while partnering with our community partners to provide wraparound services to the juveniles and their families, with the goal of closing the pipeline to prison. This court will offer healthy alternatives and channel the strengths of our young people rather than punishing their weaknesses. It's the shared commitment with the courts and law enforcement that promotes public safety in a way that builds instead of destroys, that thrives instead of corrodes. It's that shared vision with our Whitehall Division of Police Chief Mike Crispin that we have partnered together to support the culture of public safety that's necessary to strengthen our community and build healthy families. In the past 100 days, I've had weekly meetings with each director. We talk about updates in the department, needs, vision, and always about what we can do to hold ourselves accountable to the values and improvement of Whitehall. I've also made the personal commitment to physically work in each department, not as an observer either, but as a worker. The hope of it is to gain the valued perspective of our dedicated staff. It's all about cultivation of trust that drives my goals, and in order to lift up a standard of excellence within our community. I'm going to touch on those experiences from the departments I visited in a moment, but before getting to that, it's important to use the following departments as a shining example of what can happen when city departments work together in order to uplift the community. The two departments are the Parks and Recreation Department and the Clerk of Courts. These two departments that I'm about to mention and name could not be more different. For instance, in the last 100 days, the clerks, Lorena Lacey and Deb Perez, have processed over 1,600 cases in court. That's That's nearly 150 cases per week, thereby earning it one of the highest averages of suburban districts in Franklin County. Yeah. Then there is the Parks and Recreation Department led by Director Shannon Brady that has received more statewide awards than any other small agency in the state and has recently received a $50,000 no-match grant from the Ohio Department of Natural Resources to mitigate the real threat of climate change. These two departments that differ in scope, vision, and mission collaborated together to provide Martin Luther King Jr. Scholarship Award recipients the space and dignity of commendation, but also reached into the IT department to provide computers to the applicants. These commitments and investments into our youth, along with working with Whitehall City School Superintendent Cherie Wells to align goals in conjunction with mutual support and partnerships, is what's possible in this city. The scholarship itself was based on the collaborative efforts of Councilmember Lori Elmore and myself when I was the city attorney. And let me say this, everyone, this scholarship will continue. Building bridges like these focused on our strengths while at the same time working on the character of our city is why I wanted to actually work in every department to get a real-time experience. And I started with the Whitehall Police Department. In the past 100 days, Chief Christman and myself have agreed that public safety and maintenance of advanced police techniques is the best way to ensure efficiency, positive relationships, and transparency, but also professionalism. The police department was already at the forefront of its dedication to the youth in our community, as exemplified by the Juvenile Diversion Program. It also supports my vision for creating the aforementioned Juvenile Mayor's Court. Making our youth the priority and promotion of healthy families will go far in uplifting the quality of life of all Whitehall residents. Of course, we don't stop there because the problems are not monolithic, nor are the solutions. The chief and I agree that our racial bias monitoring programs in the police department will continue. Being proactive in detecting, monitoring, and obtaining early warning systems and protocols toward uprooting potential implicit bias in traffic stops, arrests, citations will garner public trust and will build confidence. Commitment to fair and unbiased policing is an integral part in building a safer Whitehall and is a guiding principle of our police department. Furthermore, we will continue to deploy advanced technological tools to enhance public safety, from ShotSpotter, flop cameras, which is the license plate reader system, and Raven, which facilitates the deployment of police resources to scenes of gunshots, which all goes far into improving response times in cases of emergencies. I told you I went to the police department. We're also actively seeking to update our emergency communication center. In the past 100 days, Deputy Chief Tracy Sarplis and myself have met with fantastic and dedicated public servants like State Representative Latina Humphrey, State Senator Herschel Craig, and State Senator Matt Dolan for the purpose of obtaining $604,000 in state funds so that we can replace our current computer-aided dispatch system. It was an honor to go to the State House with Deputy Chief Sharpless to make the ask. And if we are successful in obtaining these funds, Whitehall will keep pace with our partnering agencies in sharing law enforcement data, backup dispatch services, and receiving assistance in cases of emergencies. And so essentially, to everyone in this room and everyone hearing this message, the message to the community and to the region, if you're going to commit a crime, it's a good idea to avoid Whitehall. I'm a witness to this. On day one as a junior, very novice, less than a rookie but observant police officer, I had the privilege of riding along with Lieutenant Tanner Williams. Not only is he a super cop, yes you are, not only did we assure public safety by stopping and warning drivers that were operating vehicles unsafely, I'm saying we like I did, We executed a warrant outside of Whitehall for a crime that originated in Whitehall. You hear me? Anyway. These moments, observing the joint task force with Whitehall and the Columbus Police Department in the execution of the warrant, I literally, and Sam, you'll love this, I got flashbacks of my Marine Corps training in urban combat. It was brief, but it was a flashback. Then seeing the care and professionalism in which our officers executed the warrant was very impressive. It was an eye-opening experience. Our police department is also establishing a humanitarian crime unit dedicated to combating human trafficking and crimes against the elderly. And most recently, we announced the creation of a safer Whitehall initiative called the Public Safety Alliance. This initiative invites the community to the table of conversations about public safety. This promotion of collaboration will be solution-oriented, and I'm immensely proud of every department in Whitehall, and our police department reinforces that pride with its dedication to the community as serving as guardians and stewards of public safety. Give the police department a round of applause. Now, another guardian and steward of life, health, and safety in our community is Station 150, the Whitehall Division of Fire, led by Chief Preston Moore. Now, I just have to say they didn't give the police department that applause when I said I went to the Whitehall Police Department, because our fire department is amazing. I've had many meetings with Chief Moore. He's an incredible leader and man. He's currently out for medical reasons, so please keep him and his family in your prayers. I also got the privilege of working with these dedicated and brave heroes and can state unequivocally that our fire department is an incredible place to work. Also, I'm sure Assistant Chief KJ Watts won't mind me saying this, our fire department is recruiting. Of course, if you can pass the physical test. Now, I did about 1% of that physical test. Let me say this, I work out every day. No, I work out air day. It's a lot. It's a lot. So if you can pass the physical test, come on to Station 150, Whitehall Division of Fire. But let me tell you that physical test, though. Let me give you just one little brief example. One thing you don't understand is when you are taking that fire hose filled with water up steps, you don't understand steps in houses have debris. I carried a fire hose up steps without any debris. And by the time I was done carrying that 45-pound suit, I was drenched in sweat. So if you have or you think you have an emergency, clear the debris from your steps. I'm sure our fire department will appreciate that. One of the greatest lines I've heard from Chief Moore, when he says to persons that he brings into the department, Chief Moore will say, I know many people in the city and I'm hiring you to take care of them. That's the beautiful thing about the city of Whitehall. We maintain our small town connections while solving big city issues. The advanced life support techniques deployed by our paramedics have saved thousands of lives, and I personally witnessed this on my day with the fire department. It started off challenging enough with yoga. We started off doing yoga at 8 a.m. It didn't stop there either. At any moment, Station 150 can be called to action. And I appreciated observing them saving the life of a young man that was potentially going into cardiac arrest. The personal care, attention, and professionalism of the fire department is palatable, and I appreciated every moment, especially having the privilege to sit with them at lunch and to hear the stories of their work, about their families, and how much they're focused on the safety of Whitehall. I don't know why that just got me emotional. They're very focused about the safety of Whitehall. Our fire department remains committed to its Safe Station program to help with addiction and recovery from opiates. The result has been a reduction of overdose deaths in Whitehall, as well as direction of hundreds to inpatient recovery agencies throughout Central Ohio. Another department worthy of mention is our public service department. In the past 100 days, I've restructured the administration by eliminating the city administrator and assistant city administrator positions. We've returned to the director of public service and director of economic development. If you're not aware, I'm proud to announce that Casey Thomas has been promoted to the position of director of public service. Director Thomas has worked for the city for over 9 years and has served faithfully. She has the competency, leadership skills to serve in this position, and Whitehall has served well from her gifts and abilities. As such, in the past 100 days, she and I have had some amazing discussions, made incredible decisions, and if she were up here right now, she'd say that she's looking forward to a lot more of these public speaking engagements. At least one, Casey. How about the one when we introduce you as Mrs., since she got engaged in the past 100 days? That's good, right? In the past 100 days, the Public Service Department has begun construction of phase 1 of the comprehensive strategy to transform Broad Street. The goal is to make the corridor more walkable and accessible. In the past 100 days, the Service Department has issued over 115 building permits, which is evidence that growth, improvement, and accessibility is flourishing in Whitehall. While we have not had many days of inclement weather, the ones we've experienced were handled exceptionally. Our street department is simply top-notch. I spent the day with the street department. Superintendent Jeff Hart is an incredible asset to the city. The way in which he administrates the department and manages the crew is commendable. I had the privilege of riding along with and working with the crew, and let me declare, the street department deserves the same respect and honor that the police and fire departments get. What these men do on a daily basis to maintain the health of our city should be applauded. It should be applauded again. Now on this day, I got the opportunity to work on a storm drain and lose a hard hat. Got the opportunity to use a sledgehammer and a concrete cutter thingy. That's its official name. Keaton as my witness. I even went down into the storm drain to try to retrieve that hat, but it was gone. I also had the opportunity to watch Thacker snake a sewer line. And I also had the opportunity to change traffic lights with Frank Bivens. Lastly, I truly enjoyed working alongside with Crew Chief Austin Hines while picking up litter on Broad Street. It was there that I learned about the dedication of Adrian Harley, who literally on some days will walk from Napoleon Avenue to Hamilton Road along Broad Street picking up litter. Our street department is amazing. The past administration announced a 5-year capital improvement plan, and in it, the city recognized the need for new and dedicated revenue sources to fund water main and sewer replacement projects. If you recall, since 2021, the city established the water and sewer surcharge. It went into effect in 2022. This surcharge by design was to support the additional revenue necessary to fund the cost to finance a major and vital water main replacement project. And I'm pleased to announce, in the past 100 days, this vital water main replacement project loan of over $15 million has been secured with a plan in the summer, keep clapping, with a plan in the summer to start construction and improvement of our aging infrastructure. This is just the beginning. I'm constantly looking to improve revenue to the city and will diligently seek opportunities to improve every aged and deteriorated storm and sewer system in our city because I've worked on the sewers and the storm drains. Yes. A vital partner in this effort is our new Director of Development, Joe Long. Director Long comes to the city with over 15 years of economic development experience. His private sector experience and education will maximize the economic health of Whitehall by attracting new businesses. At the same time, his skill and abilities will assist existing businesses to thrive in Whitehall. Essential to the mission of the Economic Development Department is the continuing to keep Whitehall connected to the region. And that task takes strategy to keep us connected to transportation, housing, and jobs. Access to jobs and the diversification of our housing options is at the forefront of the minds of this administration. Without hesitation, in the past 100 days, Director Long has been busy, to say the least. Not only did he have to get up to speed on the pending economic development projects in the city, he's joined me on every meeting in building a bridge to the economic improvement of our city. Just yesterday, another meeting. I'm certain this partnership will serve our city well for the next 1,000 days. Many of you are aware of the economic development success of the city. Details like since 2012, the city has experienced $196 million per square mile in public-private investment. Also, since 2012, the city has built more than 2,300 new housing units. We have pending projects with Worthman Yards being developed by LDG Development. This development, located on Main and Barnett, will have over 316 units, and construction will begin soon. The Enclave on Main, built by Woda Cooper, will have 102 units and will open in the spring of this year. Yearling Green is another development anticipated to begin this year. It will bring an additional 44 units, and lastly, and most notoriously, an ambitious single-family home project that Whitehall has not seen in over 20 years. Fairway Cliffs have received a preliminary plat approval by the Planning Commission. This single-family home project is projected to bring up to 49 single-family homes in Whitehall at market rate. It's currently in litigation, but let me discuss a collateral reality. By all accounts, Central Ohio is growing. Well over 3 million people will live in this region by 2050. It's projected that the population of Whitehall will increase too, and our housing stock needs to increase to meet the population growth. Feeling the impact of growth and change takes preparation, strategy, and vision. Not to mention, we need to attract businesses to meet the growth of the labor force. Whitehall cannot afford to sit idly by as the region grows without seeking innovative solutions to meet the demand. Heartland Bank is evidence of paying attention to this growth and hopes to exercise an option to expand its operations in Whitehall. Furthermore, you can clap. Furthermore, Cerelia Bakery and Right Rug are both looking to expand operations in Whitehall. All of this expansion, while at the same time the Rockwell District is on its way to bringing a multi-phase transformative redevelopment off Broad in Hamilton. We have to keep pace with the region. Think about this. Once the Rockwell District is finished, it will bring 1,000 residential units to the city, an additional 1,000 residential units to the city. And something I heard William Murdoch say at the Morpsey State of the Region that is worth repeating. We must grow better as we get bigger. With what's coming to the region, we must diversify our housing options while also staying mindful of the transportation needs of our citizens. In short, it's all about access to neighborhoods, access to jobs, and access to opportunities. Single-family homes is a welcome addition to our city. Zillow lists Central Ohio as the third hottest housing market in the nation, yet, despite the designation, we are building less housing today than we did 20 years ago. I'm not certain what will happen with the Fairway Cliffs litigation in the course, or the project in the course of this litigation, but I welcome the possibility. At the end of 2023, when the possibility of this first came to the city, there was the potential to obtain 8 new acres of parkland from this development. The previous administration was successful in obtaining a $760,000 grant from the Ohio Public Works Commission contingent upon the grant of this land. This grant has not expired. Last I spoke with our Parks and Rec Director, Shannon Brady. But the deal no longer exists. But I'm hopeful to have conversations with all the interested parties to see if a deal can still be made for the benefit of Whitehall. And what I'm sorry. And let me say this, what I'm saying now is not to marginalize or minimize the anger, the fear, or the concerns of the residents that oppose Fairway Cliffs, but to instead proffer a possibility for a brighter tomorrow for Whitehall. In saying this now, my heart goes to the memories and values provided to me by my mother. She was a champion of always providing hope, and her method was all about positive exposure. Growing up the way that I did, with the background and socioeconomic strains that I experienced, exposure opened the door to dream dreams bigger than my circumstances. That exposure led to dreams, which led to actions, directly placing me on this stage this evening. In the past 100 days, I had the honor of meeting with CEO of the Columbus Zoo, Tom Schmidt. Not only did he impress me with his vision for the Columbus Zoo and his willingness to think of innovative ways to build a bridge to our community to the Columbus Zoo, but what made me wonder is hearing his stories of how his exposure to wildlife and nature led to an educational arc that ultimately led to him becoming the CEO of one of the largest zoos in the nation. In thinking of Tom Schmidt, I thought about the children that currently live in Whitehall and the ones on the way, and what the exposure to our park system could provide to them in facilitating their dreams. That's a hope of mine and my inspiration for being your mayor. It fuels my heart and is the catalyst for why I invited those beautiful young people that came up here to help me draft the Black History Month resolution. That one act inspired them to create the Whitehall Yearling High School's first Black Culture Club. That's what exposure does. That's what inspiration does. It is also the spark for why in the past 100 days, I visited and will continue to visit Whitehall businesses and our Whitehall Chamber, along with community partners like McDonald's, a Black-owned business in Whitehall owned by the Hill organization. And let us never forget about Flavor 91. I'm also deeply inspired by the Buckeye Boys Ranch, our YMCA. Please give them a round of applause for this tonight. And our champion for the healthcare of our citizens, Heart of Ohio. And also our champion for our new Americans, ETSS Social Services. Exposure and access fuels healthy families, and healthy families build healthy communities. That exposure and access inspired so many with the stories shared of enduring love during our Valentine's Day celebration. I'm truly thankful to former City Council member Karen Conason and the Whitehall Community Celebration Association for its collaboration. That night we had the privilege of hearing from healthy families like Mike and Sherry Brown, married since 1965, and Robert and Margaret Sudak, high school sweethearts and residents of Whitehall since 1966. Now listen to this, I've been married for 25 years, but Margaret and Lou, this couple have been married for 75 years. And not only that, what's a great benefit to hear from them, but we also witnessed it that night. They still hold hands to this very day. It was beautiful. These examples and more of healthy families is the engine that makes us a strong community, and I will do everything I can do to promote, attract, and build on these strong foundations. For instance, I will continue to have coffee and conversations with the community because I truly believe in the foundational mission of Forward Together. Because foundational to that vision is the understanding that if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. I truly appreciate Nicole Spicer for setting up home visits in her community. Meeting residents in their living rooms, at coffee shops, for lunch, or in my office is a privilege. And I want to hear about your concerns and to build relationships. For me, it will always be about building relationships. It's my hope and desire that Whitehall and every resident that calls its home goes far. Going forward together is the way to build and assure a healthy community, and our dedication to innovative economic development will guarantee that path. It is the reason why I've had meetings with and hope to build bridges to organizations like CMHA, led by President Charles Hillman, to continue the development of affordable housing in Whitehall that's not only affordable, but sustainable and also focused on providing life-giving social services. It is also my hope to soon provide access to the cohorts of the Emerging Developers Accelerator Program led by the visionary and fantastic president and CEO of the Affordable Housing Trust, Lark Mallory. In keeping pace with system upgrades and innovative solutions in the past 100 days, I have had meetings with and fully support Central Ohio's comprehensive transportation initiative called LinkUs. We've had a great presentation by CODA's Kelsey Ellenson about it, and you'll learn more about this as we have more community conversations about it. But in short, LinkUs is the reimagination of mobility in Central Ohio. It will be a vital solution to address the transportation needs, supportive of the projected growth of the region. LinkUs connects jobs, services, and housing. It is visionary and bold and will become mass transit that feels and performs like rail. Not only that, this rapid transport initiation will make direct investment in transit, sidewalks, bikeways, trails, and roadway improvements to the tune of nearly 300 miles of new trails and sidewalks in our communities in the next 5 years. And Whitehall stands to benefit from this vision on two main corridors, both Main Street and Broad Street. Taking a proactive approach to the growth, affordability, and opportunity gaps in our region is a solution, and LinkUs bridges that gap. The investment of LinkUs will impact economic development in Whitehall, and it will be a boost to our city, and one Whitehall will be prepared to embrace, all because of Joe Long. A lot of responsibility. Impact along the corridors will bolster opportunities to the city for generations. LinkUs and the value it will bring to the city will have both short-term and long-term implications. And in the past 100 days, I've worked diligently with our IT department and Director Mike Isaac in supporting all aspects of city operations. Many of you have IT departments, and they are simply amazing to me. When done well, they're barely noticed. But when you need them, they don't make you feel like a newborn baby and make you feel stupid whenever they need to just alt control delete something. Director Mike Isaac is best at it. In the past 100 days, we've worked to create a centralized phone number for the city. The goal is to make it easier for the residents to reach any department. The IT department also repurposed and provided refurbished laptops and desktops to the scholarship award recipients and applicants, empowering youth and bridging the digital divide. The IT department is currently seeking a solution to our paper chime sheet system. But one of the things I'm most excited to announce is that in the past 100 days, we have engaged an engineer to build Whitehall's first app. This app is currently in the design phase, but when it's ready, the innovation it will provide will serve as a platform and gateway for you to stay up to date on city events and accessing city information. It promises to be a user-friendly tool to pay taxes, explore local businesses, and pay court costs and fines. And when we continue to grow as a city, it will be a great platform for us to imagine the possibilities of creating revenue production and economic development through paid parking opportunities. If those types of innovative bridges that build pathways of opportunities, pathways laid out in our strategic plan to decrease poverty by 10% by 2030. To do this, in the last 100 days, I've met with John and Pamela Gregory from the African American Wellness Agency and President Stephanie Hightower from the Columbus Urban League to bring more workforce development opportunities to the city. The goal is to equip residents with workforce development skills necessary to meet Central Ohio's growing labor market. Jobs in technology and building trades that will assure our residents have a livable wage and can afford basic needs. Furthermore, Discover is still on track to open, and its business model is still fully committed to offering training and providing employment to our residents. And on the horizon, this year's Food Truck Festival will become a party with a purpose. It will take on the task of having a section totally dedicated to workforce development and obtaining jobs. So imagine this. A person can come to the food truck festival, get entertained, eat, have fun with their family, and walk away with a job. The 188 employees of our city are fully committed to meeting the goals of the strategic plan. And while we're currently experiencing the after effects of a strained budget due to the pandemic, our priorities remain the same, that we will continue to provide quality city services to everyone that calls Whitehall home. This commitment also extends to the next generation of Whitehall. Our regional reputation will remain intact here. Based on the first 100 days, in which I've had the honor and privilege of serving as your mayor, I can state unequivocally, with bold declaration, that the state of our city is strong. We're strong because we have a plan. We're strong because we have a strategy. We're strong because we have a team that's evolving and moving forward. But that's not all. We're strong because we have you. While 2023 was difficult financially due to income tax challenges, we are slowly coming back thanks to the leadership of Brigadier General Gail Atkins, commander of the Defense Logistic Agency, and with its commitment to bring employees back to the base on a modified schedule. We will also optimize the moment by engaging the services of the fantastic legal services of Steve Tugin to help us strengthen our relationship with our local and cherished federal agencies. Workforce in Whitehall will continue to build momentum. It's the 4 generations of our city staff, diverse, with an average term of service to the city of 12 years, that gives me hope that everyone is committed to its success. We will capitalize on our interdependence to the region. Those regional decisions will guarantee the success of our 5 square miles. Therefore, it's my call to everyone, a call for collective action to meet the challenges, to overcome the obstacles, and to live up to the hope firmly rooted in the vision to optimize a brighter future for everyone. I truly respect different points of view and will always do my best to foster consensus and collaboration. No outcome will be dictated except that of timeless and comprehensive strategies that are solution-oriented rather than fatalistic. The city of Whitehall has proven in its 77 years that it can grow, change, welcome diversity, build, and be the place where the wildest dreams of a young couple like me and my beautiful wife staked our claim over 20 years ago to serve Central Iowa. I believe that it has become stronger today than it was then, and remains the place to fulfill the wildest dreams of its current residents and the ones to come. Now that we are 100 days into the new chapter of the history of Whitehall, let's march forward together to embrace the new possibilities from the creation of an advisory committee for new Americans, to embracing our unique and diverse nonprofit community. The unity and courage to work together will be a hallmark of our city, and we have more to do, from housing and homelessness, business development, and creating pathways to generational wealth. We got this, Whitehall. Our commitment will have no limits. I truly and deeply appreciate the privilege of being your mayor and look forward to the days ahead. Let's champion each other's progress and move forward together, because together, in the first 100 days, this administration has attended nearly 300 meetings and appointments, had a great time with our seniors for its Bagels and Bubbles event, learned about an amazing citizen that is a direct descendant to Sally Hemings and Thomas Jefferson, laughed with and met with spectacular students at Etna Elementary's DARE graduation, and was awestruck to witness a solar eclipse with about 500 of my closest friends in Whitehall. What is incredible, the things we are doing now will prepare a place for our children and our children's children to see another eclipse in September 2099. There's so much more work to do, and I'm excited to take every step with you so that we can create two types of families in Central Ohio. Ones that live in Whitehall and ones that wish they could. God bless you. God bless the city of Whitehall. Thank you so much for coming out this evening. I love you from the bottom of my heart.
Oh man, that was amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us this evening. This concludes our annual State of the City address. Light refreshments are being provided in the next room. Thank you.